Hey guys, welcome to Xbox On. Now, 2017 is in full swing, and here at Xbox On, we're getting super excited about the awesome games that are coming this year. As a huge fan of RPGs, I thought, why not take a look at all the amazing upcoming RPGs that are heading to our Xbox Ones this year. Let's do this. One of the most anticipated RPGs of the year is also just one of the most anticipated games in general, and that is, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda. Andromeda promises to take what makes the Mass Effect series amazing and add even more to it. Unlike previous Mass Effects where you began a new game by choosing from 6 different character classes, this time round you'll have free reign to assign any skill that you want, and then you're free to build towards a speciality as you play. Points assigned to each skill can be constantly reallocated, so you can mix and match your playstyle without having to start a brand new game. If you ask me, that sounds pretty damn perfect. In Andromeda, you'll be playing the part of Sarah or Scott Ryder, whilst exploring the Andromeda galaxy from your ship, the Tempest. It's a true open-world adventure where you can explore planets at will, and what better way to explore a planet than on the Nomad, your awesome 6-wheeled all-terrain vehicle. As you explore, you'll gather blueprints and resources to help upgrade and enhance your skills. And of course, there's all the Mass Effect relationshipy goodness that we all love so much. Who will you befriend and romance? The choice is yours, you galaxy-gliding Romeo. Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be huge, and come end of March, there's going to be a lot of happy gamers out there. Nice. The new RPG offering from South Park is definitely the standout, funniest option on this list. South Park Stick of Truth was absolutely hilarious, whether you were a South Park fan or not, and Fractured But Whole looks set to be equally hysterical. Whereas Stick of Truth concentrated on a more Skyrim RPG feel, Fractured But Whole has gone down the superhero route. It wouldn't be South Park if it wasn't taking the mick out of something, of course, so Marvel is the punching bag this time round. Whereas you might worry that a South Park game won't take the RPG genre seriously, Stick of Truth was surprisingly deep, with class choices, clothing and armor collecting, and skill trees galore. As Fractured But Whole has a slight delay to make sure it's up to the high standards of its predecessor, there's no doubt that we can see much of the same and more from this new offering. Hand of Fate 2 is an action RPG that combines board games, card dealing, and third-person combat into one quirky package. It picks up where Hand of Fate left off. The creepy dealer is back and the stakes are still the same. Life or death, it's all in how you play it. In Hand of Fate 2, you'll be adventuring through a dark fantasy world built from collectible cards. Each overturned card reveals a new part of the trail, a sudden ambush maybe, or some tabletop-style decision-making. The game also welcomes a brand new map, which is full of new challenges, so those who got stuck into the first offering have plenty of new treats in store. The combat has also been spruced up too, with dual wielding and two-handed heavy arms for those tricky battles. You won't be going at it alone either, with companion characters available to provide combat support and perks. If you want a seamless blend of tabletop RPGing and a more cutting third-person fighting style, then make sure to check out Hand of Fate 2. Torment Tides of Numenera is an upcoming RPG which is the spiritual successor to critically acclaimed Planescape Torment. The game takes place in Numenera, a tabletop fantasy setting which is coming to life in this much anticipated adventure. It started life as a tabletop game which heavily influences its gameplay style and rule mechanics. You play as the Last Cast-Off, a human host that was once inhabited by a powerful being but is now abandoned with no memory of prior events. Tales of Numenera will concentrate on its storytelling, which unfolds through a deep and personal narrative. You'll be able to bend your character to how you see fit, ranging from gender to class to character style. For example, why not play as a wizard with a mystical side? The world itself is pretty out there, mixing sci-fi and fantasy in some balmy ways. In one quest you'll see a robot give birth, and in another you'll encounter an organism the size of an entire city. And those are just normal quests. Needless to say, you're going to have to really pay attention to keep on top of this oddness, so no looking at your phone whilst the cutscenes are playing, you hear? If you're looking for a classic RPG with some of the maddest writing on Xbox, then look no further. Elder Scrolls Online has continued to expand and grow since its arrival on our Xbox Ones in 2015, and 2017 looks set to house its biggest expansion yet, with Morrowind coming this June. Morrowind will see the return of the iconic island of Vardenfall, a brand new location with a new class, PvP mode, trial, and much more. All this tasty content looks set to promise over 30 hours of adventuring, which you can't turn your nose up at. The story looks set to be a classic Elder Scrolls affair. Basically, the fate of Morrowind hangs in balance, and you must take up the hero role to help Vivek, who is a legendary warrior, poet, and guardian of Vardenfall. So you know what it's time for, right? Yep, saving the world from a Daedric threat. Good times. In terms of that new class I mentioned, the Warden class wields powerful nature-based magic and can be customized with a number of abilities. The expansion itself is set 700 years before the event of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, yet the Elder Scrolls Online's newest chapter is set to take you to a host of familiar locations as you set out to help Vivek. Areas like the volcanic ashlands, the mushroom-filled forests, and the city streets of Vivek will be your hunting ground, promising to breathe some adventure and new life into the popular MMORPG. So, we all know by now that a good RPG is only as strong as its medieval setting, and Kingdom Come Deliverance provides just that. This upcoming RPG is set in the medieval kingdom of Bohemia, an imperial state of the Roman Empire. However, unlike a lot of RPGs, the game goes for a more historically accurate setting with realistic content, so leave your dragon fighting dreams behind. Kingdom Come Deliverance looks set to have branching quest lines with a highly interactive world, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the perfect recipe for a good RPG. It's got a good classic royal storyline too. The old king has died and the heir lacks the power to secure his throne. The new king's brother seizes the opportunity to kidnap the king and pillage his lands. You'll be playing the son of a blacksmith who is seeking revenge for his murdered family. I mean, it's basically Game of Thrones, but you know, no dragons. Sorry. For history buffs out there, the game is set in real-world areas with an authentic score and a historically accurate aesthetic. If you are a fan of the Witcher series, then this should be right up your street. As Kingdom Come Deliverance is an open-world RPG with plenty of branching stories and storylines, expect to be sinking a lot of time into this massive upcoming adventure. You just won't be sinking your sword into any dragons. Sorry. Game devs Don't Nod, who are the guys responsible for Life is Strange, have come up with another unique and compelling idea. Vampire is an RPG with a twist. How it works is this. You play as Jonathan E. Reed, a vampire doctor whose thirst for sweet, delicious human blood compels him to kill innocent people. To do this correctly, you've got to gather information about your next meal, their habits, relationships, and other clues, and you do this by talking to the people of London. The interesting thing is that you don't actually have to take a life, and by refraining from drinking that sweet, sweet B positive, you preserve your cover as a doctor. However, the bad side is you won't be able to level up. Yep, it's a tricky moral dilemma. If you do decide to feast, then you can target anyone you wish, but it will have consequences that affect the story. To get that all-important delicious kill, you can trick your target into revealing important information, or guide them to quieter areas for a more inconspicuous kill. Of course, you could turn your prey into a vampire too. The more the merrier. When you're not feasting on the blood of the innocent, you can take down your foes, a bunch of mutated vampires called skulls. I mean, I'm up for packing that all in and heading back to the local doctors for a good old 9-to-5 job, but you know, each to their own and all that. It's safe to say that a vampire is an incredibly unique concept that in true Don't Nod style promises to be one of a kind. Below is a dark and simplistic top-down adventure game with a gorgeous art style and a focus on exploration. You'll be playing the part of a tiny warrior exploring the depths of a remote island. Whilst exploring is the main focus, you'll also be in charge of your character's survival. The game itself seems pretty mysterious, with the environments being randomly generated, so no two playthroughs will be the same. It also goes to great lengths not to explain the rules, so you'll have to tease out how everything works from trial and error. Although it's got an almost cute look to it, it promises to be quite brutal in terms of combat. It'll take practice and technique learning rather than just good old hack and slash and hope for the best. There's also every gamer's worst nightmare: permadeath. Just goes to show you can't judge a game by its beautiful art style, because deep down it's going to kick your butt. If dystopian sci-fi RPGs are your thing, then best get The Surge on your wishlist. It's set in a future which has experienced a technology-based catastrophe. The Surge's world is populated by human survivors, as well as sentient non-humans and robots, and as you can probably guess, this seems like a recipe for things to go a little bit wrong. In terms of how it plays as an RPG, it looks set to have all the classic systems we love. Looting, leveling up, crafting, and upgrading are here in abundance. So get your robot-hating hat on, because it's time to do some dismantling. And there we have it, just some of the awesome RPGs coming out this year. Let me know in the comments box what you're most excited to play, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll see you next time. Bye!